Cultivating habits in the workplace, especially habits that will help you to be even more productive, is going to be something that you want to do in order to make sure that you can expand your runway and make sure that your runway is as productive as it can possibly be over the course of your career in any one organization. The first thing is think about ways that you can create more white space. White space in your calendar will give you the opportunity to literally have 30 minutes or an hour just to create. You might want to think about doing it in the early part of the afternoon when your energy level is starting to get a little bit low. Maybe you take that as an opportunity to walk outside of the building or walk outside of your home if you're working at home and just walk around the block, get a fresh cup of coffee, and sit there and think about and reflect on the morning. Okay, did I get everything done that I wanted to get done this morning? Of the things that didn't go as well as I would have planned, how might I have done that differently? Is there something I could have done ahead of time that would have made that process go a little bit smoother? As I have my conference calls, am I on the receiving end? Am I listening, or am I an active participant and actually trying to drive the call to an end? I learned over the course of my career that if I was more of an active participant, more focused on driving an outcome, then the calls were a lot more interesting, they were a lot more effective, and they were a lot more time efficient because I was driving it as opposed to being driven. And if you are in a position where you can't drive and you must be driven, then you can think to yourself, what are these people really saying? What are the 3 key points that I need to get from this call? How would I talk about this call or recount this call to somebody else? That helps you to be a more active listener. The second thing that I learned over time that really helped my productivity level and actually gave me the opportunity to really enjoy every day is I started making my to-do list the night before. So let's say tomorrow's Wednesday, and on Tuesday night, I reflect on what I did on Tuesday, and I said, what do I have to do tomorrow? What's the most pressing priority for tomorrow? Something that has to get done. The next 2 or 3 things that I write on my list are what are some of the things I'd like to get done tomorrow? And then the last level on my list, I say, what are some aspirational things that I can get done? If I can get those things done, it will, of course, be an exceedingly abundantly great day. That's how I put together my to-do list. So when Wednesday morning comes, I ask myself one question. What does success look like today, Carla? And success on Wednesday can certainly be different than success on Monday. But by asking myself that question, I now realize my power to drive that day. The third thing that I did over time that really helped my productivity is I started thinking about what I could take off of my plate. If you are an executor like me, a real doer, then you tend to take on a lot of different things and your plate gets more and more full every single day. And you do it just because you like executing. If you're like me, you just like executing. But at the end of the day, the more you're executing, you have to think to yourself, that's time away from creating. That's time away from actually innovating. And so the way that you can create more time for innovation is that you think, how can I delegate more effectively? And nobody really teaches you how to delegate. You have to be active and intentional about doing that yourself. And here's how you might do it in an unselfish way. By giving other people some of those things that allowed you to cut your leadership teeth, those things are now giving somebody else an opportunity to cut their leadership teeth, or it's giving somebody else an opportunity to learn something, and now freeing you up to learn something at your new level. So that's one of the ways that you can motivate yourself to actually delegate. And then the other thing that helped me be much more efficient in terms of time is I started playing games with myself around those things that are really time sinks. Like, for example, emails. Once you start going through your emails, it can take you down. It can sop up a lot of time. And before you know it, you don't get other things that you need to get done. So I started saying to myself, this conference call ended 7 minutes early. How many emails can I get done in 7 minutes? Or at the beginning of my day when I'm having my cup of coffee, I say, I'm going to take 15 minutes to enjoy this coffee. Well, I'm going to take 15 minutes at the same time to go through a couple of emails. And then I segment the emails, which are personal emails, which are emails that have come from people that are more senior than me, which are emails that have come from my people. And sometimes the emails that have come from my people are the priority that particular day. And I make sure that I deal with all of those first. But those are a few things that I learned that really enhanced my productivity and gave me a lot more free time to create or to leave early and to go off and do something personal. Go get them.